Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we will discuss the Earned Income Tax Credit known as the EIC. What's the big idea for this Earned Income Tax Credit? The first news is good news. It's a refundable tax credit for low to moderate income workers and family. So what's the idea behind this credit? The idea is this. If you work, if you earn money up to a point, the government will give you additional refund. Why? Two reasons. One, to encourage you to work. Two, since you're not making a lot of money and you have kids, we can help you. So this is why it's a refundable. They give you the money. It benefits working families with children and again low to moderate income working families. The whole purpose when it was created to encourage people to get off welfare, and if you want to qualify for help you have to work, so you're producing, the economy is benefiting, the government is willing to give you a helping hand. Now we're going to go ahead and discuss the limitations, who qualify, how much do you qualify for, phase out, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. You are here because you are serious about mastering taxation. Whether you are taking a tax course, studying for the CPA exam, or enrolled agent, tax feels overwhelming, not because it's impossible, but because it's dense, detailed, and often taught at a pace that doesn't match the way you learn. The rules can feel disconnected, and the logic isn't always explained clearly. At Farhat Lectures, we slow it down. We explain the why behind the rules, break concept into simple steps, and rebuild your understanding from the ground up without assuming any prior knowledge. When explanation matches your learning, everything changes. The confusion fades, the rules start to connect, and tax becomes manageable. If you are ready to understand tax with clarity and confidence, start your free trial at farhatlectures.com and let's build your tax foundation together. So how does the Earned Income Tax Credit works? Well, it's based on earned income. Earned means work that you do, based on your adjusted gross income, based on your filing status and how many children do you have. And the way the credit works, it will increase to a point. So the more you work, the more is the credit up to a point. Then after that, you reach that point, it's mean you're making enough. Then the credit will go down up to a point. Once you reach that point, the credit will stop. So as you earn, your credit goes up to a point. Then after you reach that point, the credit, you keep on earning, the credit will go down, but as you earn more, the credit will go down to zero. And we would look at the numbers of how it works. So it gradually phases out as income exceeds thresholds. So the more you make, the less is your credit up to a point, then it goes away. Keep in mind, it's fully refundable, and that's excellent for the people that qualify, because it's going to give you money and access over your tax liability. Even if your tax liability is zero, whatever you qualify for, that's refundable to you. The government will send you a paycheck for that. Now we need to know, what are the eligibility requirements? The first requirement, surprise, surprise, you have to have earned income from wages, salaries, tips, self-employment. You have to be working, you have to be producing. You must meet the annual income limits. Now this will change from year to year depending on your filing status and depending whether you have 0, 1, 2, or 3 children. You have to have a valid social security number for the taxpayer and the qualifying children. Must be a U.S. citizen or a resident alien for the entire year. The filing status is single, head of a household, qualifying survivor's spouse, or married filing jointly. What's missing is married filing separately. Married filing separately, you're not eligible for this credit. Remember, married filing separately, you are still eligible for the child tax credit, but not EIC. Many people many students confuse those two. Just be aware of that. So married filing separately, not eligible for the EIC. You should also be aware that there's an investment income. So if you have investment income, for example, for 2026,
of 11,950. Investment income means what? It means a portfolio income, interest, dividend, portfolio income, capital gains. Once you exceed that number, you no longer qualify. And let me tell you something. To make interest and dividend this amount, you must have a lot of money. So if you have that money, you should not qualify in the first place. But the point is, investment income cannot exceed a certain number, and this happens to be in 2026. Now, if you're looking at this recording in 2027, 2028, would this number be the same? Absolutely not. This number will change, but the concept will stay the same. There's a limit on investment income. Once you reach that, you don't qualify for the earned income credit anymore. Qualifying children must meet age, relationship, or residency test for a child. And you should know what these tests are from the child dependent. How about if you don't have a child, would you still qualify? Yes, you would still qualify, but you have to have an age requirement, must be 28 through 64. That's the first requirement. And you cannot be claimed by another taxpayer, so you cannot be dependent on someone else. The credit is smaller. The credit is way smaller compared to families with children, and you will see those numbers. Let me show you the numbers again. This is for the 2026. Again, those numbers will change, but let me give you an idea. For example, no children, 664 the maximum credit. One child, 4,427. Two, 7,316. Three or more children, you can get up to 8,231. It all depends on your income, which we'll see in a moment. But those are the maximum credit you can get for no child versus three or more. Once you have more than three, that amount is limited. Once again, indexed annually for inflation. So if you're looking at this in a different year, the numbers will be different. Maybe the 664 becomes 725, or it'll become 850. I don't know, depending on inflation. Okay, the numbers will change, but you have to understand each group will have a different category. Now, the maximum income you can earn, again, this number is subject to inflation without losing the credit, without losing the credit. For example, with no children, once you exceed 19,540, that's it. You can no longer have the credit. With one child, once you exceed 51,593, it's done. For two children, 58,629. Three or more, 62,974. Again, with this change, absolutely it will change, and this is for single head of a household. Now, how about if you're married filing jointly? Well, the phase out are a little bit higher. 26,820 no children, 58,000, 65,899, and 70,224. Again, the numbers are not as important because they will change from year to year. All what I'm trying to show you is married filing jointly will have a higher maximum income. Now let's see how this works actually in the real world. Let's look at the first example. George is single, 22 years old, no qualifying children, income 10,000. Is George eligible? Let's go back here. 22, single, no children, 10,000, single, less than, should, but he doesn't. Why? Remember the age. You have to be within a certain age, 25 to 64. Therefore, income below the limit, but the age would disqualify him from this earned income credit. Example 2. Maria, age 28, head of a household. She had a dependent 13-year-old son. Salary $12,070, taxable interest of $100. Her AGI is $12,170. Is she eligible? Head of a household, notice one child, she's way below the limit. Now, let's take a look at, so she's eligible, yes, has qualifying child, and way below the limit of 51,593 for that particular year. And her investment income is way below. We don't have to worry about the investment income. It's $100. Now, to be specific, now we did not compute how we got to how we got to the how do we compute the credit itself, because all what we looked at is what does it look like. Okay, but how about how do we actually compute the credit? Well, there's a table that you go to, and you would say, for example, if you're single, head of a household, qualifying, surviving spouse, you would use these figures, this table. If you are married, filing jointly, you would use these numbers. So in her situation, she's single, one child, 12,171. So 12,170 or 12,170, which between 12,150, 150 and 12,200. And as a single with one child, her credit will be 4,143. 4,143. Now, if she had two children, she'll be two children, 4,870 for that income, 12,170. Let's look at example 3. Homer and Marge, both age 30, married, filing jointly, no dependent, salary 30,500, taxable interest of 300. So AGI 30,800. Do they qualify? Well, they have no children, married, filing jointly. Once you exceed 26,820, you are out. They are not eligible. The income exceeds the threshold. Age qualify, no investment income, but they don't qualify. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. Which of the following best describe the earned income tax credit? So basically, do you know what the earned income tax credit is? Well, A, it's a non-refundable credit designed for high income taxpayer. Well, usually high income taxpayer don't get any credit, whether refundable or not. They'll get tax loopholes. Just joking. Yeah, okay, so no, it's not for high income taxpayer. A refundable credit designed to encourage and support work. Is that the purpose of the earned income? The first hint is earned income, support work. I would say B is better than A. I will keep B for now. A deduction that reduces adjusted gross income. This is a credit. This is not a deduction. C is out. I hope we know the difference between a deduction and a credit. A payroll tax credit. A payroll tax credit for employers. No, this tax credit is for people who are working employees. Now, so B is the correct answer here. Now, what can you do? If you're using Farhat Lectures, we have farhat.ai. It could explain the topic for you if you'd like to a little bit further, explain the correct and incorrect answer. And if you want more MCQs about this topic, you can ask AI to create more MCQs. But what you should do now is go to Farhat Lectures, work more MCQs, look at more resources, lectures, podcast lessons, exercises, AI tools, flashcards, summary notes. The best investment you can make, whether you are an accounting student, CPA exam candidate, or enrolled agent, is invest in yourself, and God bless.